Today on the Tim Marner podcast show, I've got the blonde runner, our Danielle, the blonde runner, loving that, right? How did you get so obsessed with running? Where did it come from, that?
I went and watched my friend do, because of COVID, Manchester Marathon got moved. So it got moved, it's usually in the April, so it's due in a few weeks, Manchester Marathon, and got moved to the October in 2021. Went and watched my friend's husband run. He said he would dead quick, so I was waiting for 3.5 hours. I thought, right, starts at that time, he's going to be here. Oh my God, he rocked in at 5-6 hours later. I was stood there freezing, but when I was stood there at the finish line, there was strangers cheering strangers, and I've done bits in the gym and stuff, but I never run seriously or anything, and I just loved it.
What was it?
You just don't get that, I don't know, that tenacity, and you don't get that kindness from strangers usually, and it was just a whole new environment and community that it was in front of my eyes, and I thought, wow, I love this. People being sick, and other people cheer, come on, you've got this, and it was just, I loved it, so I thought, I want a bit of that. And I was going on holiday with a group of friends, husbands as well. And I thought, right, well, they're running. If I just sign up to a marathon, how hard could it be? If I just sign up to the April one, because this was in the October of 21, and then the next one was the April. So it'll keep me on track for my weight loss as well, because I was a bit bigger then. I thought, right, I'll sign up. Signed up, started running in December. And I've never looked back.
What's because obviously you got that from a marathon, you got all that people around you, but a lot of stuff you do is really alone, innit?
Yeah.
You're in your own head
all the time, yeah. And I'm very strong-minded, and I feel like running's give me, I don't know, it gives me an escape.
Yeah.
Sometimes racing, I don't listen to anything. Sometimes I listen to podcasts, on my runs and stuff, which is just nice I like running with friends. It makes it easier for the hard sessions, but I just like being out on my own, and I do a lot of running on my own, a lot of miles. Nice.
What we're talking, how many miles are you doing?
I've just done a marathon block for Seville, and I was doing 65-mile weeks. So, yeah, longest
Long
run.
time, that, isn't it?
Yeah, it's great.
Did sort of demons come into play at certain points where you kind of quieting them down?
Yeah, a little bit. I wouldn't say with me running. I feel like I'm a better person when I've run. I like getting up and getting it done in the morning, so it doesn't impact anybody else's day, and it sets me up for the day, and I'm just a nicer, more energetic person. Not that I'm not nice, but I feel like it just sets you up and gives you the clarity in your head that you can do anything.
Have you ever had anything like that before in your life?
No.
A thing?
As in
well, I know, a thing that's helped you escape from.
I used to show jump.
Yeah.
So I show jumped at a professional Great Britain level.
Take me through that journey. Talk me through that.
Yeah. Had riding lessons from being very young. My parents bought me my first pony. Well, actually, not my parents, it was my dad. Behind my mum's back. So I actually, for my 8th birthday, I had a video recorder. That's how old I am, showing my age. From a bit your main present.
Yeah.
That's what I'd had. And this pony at the riding school, there was only me at 7, and a 14-year-old that could ride it, because it was just a little git. So my dad ended up buying it, because obviously it was no good for the riding school. Bought it for me, called Toffee. Little Palomino, Barbie dream,
Yeah.
And my mum didn't know. So that's when it started, and then it just snowballed.
Why? What happened? You just
had a talent for it,
Did you?
At 6 months after my 8th birthday, I'd outgrown the pony in ability. Obviously at the time I didn't realise that, but now when I've reflected back on the journey, ended up getting in the fast lane, going to a affiliated shows. I went to pony clubs, local first, and then I used to wipe up, you know, every trophy, every first, everything, and then it was just.
Did you love it?
I loved it.
Did you?
I still love horses. They give you that escape. Like they're so peaceful and they don't talk back.
They say that, don't they, about equestrian therapy?
Yeah.
About like being in touch with horses. There's something. There's a nurturing
It's amazing.
side.
Yeah, it's amazing. I just ended up getting, like, you go from like 12 twos to 13 twos as you get up.
Yeah.
That's the height in the ponies. And I got selected for England and did that. So
How old were you with that?
I was 12.
Wow.
So I rode for England every year up till when you come off ponies, you're 16.
How expensive is something like that? You're talking like ridiculous money.
A lot. Mum and Dad were like my sponsors.
With it?
So yeah, they give me everything when I was younger, you know. I had a sister as well, but and even though she had the same ponies, because like obviously.
What are you talking for an horse at that level?
For a pony,
yeah.
Back then, I remember we bought my 13-2, which is for 13-2s you're aged 12 to 14, and that was £20,000, and that was.
Is that a horse £20,000 at Great Britain level?
Well, yeah, but she was old, so she was 18 when we bought her, which is, I mean, she still lasted till she was 35.
Wow.
But buying something. So that's how they go for hundreds of thousands, and they're probably even more expensive now. And then I gave up for a bit.
Why?
I was 16. I'd had the pressure of. I never went to the park. I was never allowed to, go drinking on the park.
Loads of sacrificing, just
Loads
like
of
your head, just
sacrifice.
like laser focused in on.
Laser, and the pressure, probably not realising, but from my mum and dad, I was a high achiever, so I was very academic in school. I had to get A grades, otherwise I weren't allowed to the ponies. If I was poorly, you can be poorly, you can be off school, but that means you're not going to the ponies. Like, it was very
brutal, isn't it?
Very, but I suppose I have demons now.
Yeah.
That I realise, like, now nothing is ever good enough for me.
Right.
And that's stemmed from then, because nothing was ever good enough.
Do you ever let up on that? Do you ever give yourself a break, or is it always constantly there?
Always there.
Everything that you do? Yeah,
always. Nothing's ever good enough. I do try and check myself a little bit sometimes, but it can be hard. My mum and dad, when I was growing up, we had a sweet shop, like a newsagent, so we lived above and behind. Obviously I seen my friends coming in, going to the park and doing normal things, and I knew I had to be up at 4 o'clock because we were going to a show, and I'd be at the show all day in the rain, you name it, whatever, snow, I would be there. We travelled the country, stayed away, I had a big wagon. I had a really good life, but I suppose with that comes sacrificing some demons as you get older. Give it up for a bit because I found boys, as you do when you're 16.
Boring.
Bane of your life. So found boys, went to college. I actually come out at school with like straight A's. Went to college, I won't name the college, and failed my first year, like fully failed. Because of boys. I had gone wayward. Boys, I was going out.
Because you've gone so hard down that thing, you'd kind of balanced it out by going down.
Yeah.
Right, okay.
And then ended up going to a better college.
Yeah.
And coming out really good at like A levels.
Doing what? What was your?
So I did sports. I did PE, psychology, English language and lit, and biology.
Amazing, Danielle.
So yeah.
So what did you do then? What happened then?
Went to uni because that was the route that I had to go down.
Right, okay.
My mum and dad, I wouldn't say they were pushy, but I suppose indirectly pushy, you need to go do that and go to uni and stuff. So went to university, went to Edge Hill for 3 years doing a sports science degree. Changed after my first year because I went on to PE. decided I wanted to be a PE teacher. So did that, did my 4th year at Liverpool John Moores, which is my teaching year. In the midst of this, I'd got back into horses.
It's annoying that, isn't it?
Tickle.
Has it gone? Has it gone, Charlotte?
I do not know.
It's not good for a podcast, that is it?
Can edit it out.
I'm not going to edit it out. If you know me, I've got time for that. Right, go on.
Yeah, so I got 2 young horses, so they were never sat on, literally straight out the field. Very good blood and stuff, which we knew about. And yeah, it was just pot luck really what we got, because they ended up...
Have you fallen back in love with it?
At that point, yeah. Ended up getting another wagon, and it was bigger than ever, and carried 6 horses, like luxury living. It's nicer than some people's houses, you know, shower,
Really?
yeah, aircon, you name it. Again, you sort of, and I do think it's, some people are happy, you know, and that's fine, going to shows and just tootling around and picking up local prizes. For me, that just was not good enough if I was doing it. And if I do anything, to be fair, I do it wholeheartedly and as me running, really, 100%.
Yeah.
So at uni, that was sort of the bribe. You go to uni, we'll get you the horses.
Has it always been expected of you to be the best?
Yeah, always, because my sister come out with G's and hasn't done half, and that's no disrespect to her.
Yeah.
But yeah, there was a lot of pressure.
What is your relationship like with your sister? Can we?
What is it like now?
Yeah, yeah.
I don't speak to her.
Right, okay.
I don't speak to my mum and dad or my sister.
What's the reason for that?
Nothing was ever good enough.
Right.
And
And still isn't?
And still isn't. I mean, they found out, like you'd said before, I'd been in hospital.
Yeah.
And they found out somewhere, because I think they stalk my social media. Well, I know they do. And I've had a message which I've not responded to, because for me, they're all the time or not at all. So yeah, when we was opening the shop, the hairdressers, I think they helped twice. One put chairs up the night before I was due to open, and it was a literally back to brick refurb. So it was just too much.
How do you have the strength to cut that toxicity out of your life?
I'm very strong-minded, so when I'm done, I'm done. Yeah, I can cut.
Because how many people put up with their parents, and because it's the parents, they kind of go, no, it's mum and my dad, I'm going to put up with that.
Yeah.
Well, I don't agree with that, me. I feel that, look, if that is blood or whatever,
blood.
if that's, yeah.
It is, it's just blood, and I think it took me 30 years to come to terms with that.
Yeah. Do people still say to you, oh, it's your mum and dad, you should reconcile,
you
should
only get one mum.
try?
You know, all this, but at the end of the
You only
day,
get one life.
you get one life, and I was ending up sitting in the office in the morning with my mum for an hour, just to try and please her and make conversation and be interested in what they were doing, but there was no reciprocation back, and I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. It's just very odd. And everything's always been a bribe, you know. If you get good school results, you can go to your ponies. If you get good degree, you can have your horses. And I had a really bad boyfriend, like you do, you know. I'm very innocent. I didn't have my eyes open to the world, you know. I didn't realise at the time why he had 2 phones and things like this, you know. And he was just very charming. He had a lot of cash in his wallet, you know, and you just think, oh, like he's taking me restaurants and stuff. And yeah, they didn't like him. So then it was a bribe. You either get rid of the boyfriend or we get rid of the horses and pull the sponsorship. So the first thing to go was my wagon. They sold my wagon. The second thing was to sell a few of the horses. And at this time, I'm like a newly qualified teacher, and because I'd got a job at a school, and I couldn't pay for the horses. I
How old
needed
were you?
24, 25. I couldn't do it on my own. I couldn't like go into a show. It's 100 quid in diesel, and then you've got at least 100 quid entries, and then you've got the shoes, 200 quid a set every 8 weeks. I had 3 or 4 good horses. It was a lot. They are an expensive hobby, and it was not an expectation of me, of my mum and dad, from them. It was, they give me this life, and then I was fully into it, and I felt like it's just not fair to kind of take that away because you don't like my boyfriend. But I'm a Taurus, and I'm very stubborn when I dig my heels in, and no, you're not telling me what to do. I think if they'd have left me alone, I'm clever enough to realise in my own time, which I did, and I binned him off. But by that point, it was too late. In the process, he had 2 horses that were like elite level. Had a Saudi wanting to buy one of them.
How much for? What you talking for price for one of them?
450 grand.
What the fuck?
I know, yeah. It was a lot of money.
Whoa.
And then he was the better horse, but he wasn't my guy. Like, my guy was my little stallion.
What does that mean when you said my guy? What
my
is that
best friend.
connection? How do you do something with a? I know it sounds weird, dude. It's just 'cause I've never...
I know. He was, when we bought him.
The same connection I'd have with my dog that you've got with that horse.
Yeah. He was a stallion, which means he's still got his bits.
Yeah.
And when we got him, he was like a little scrawny thing, 3 teeth missing. He was a little shit. Like, he's jumped all over me, had me off, all sorts. And everybody wrote him off, like, what have you bought that thing for? Why are you putting your time into him?
Did you like that when people said that?
Yeah, I love a challenge.
Yeah.
I love a challenge. I hate people doubting me.
Because we said this before, haven't we? Like, you love proving people wrong, don't you?
Yeah, of course I do. Yeah, absolutely. And yeah, he was a nightmare. He was 15.3, which is very, very small for a Grand Prix horse. Because when I'm talking jumping, the height of the jumps are like 150 high, 150 wide, sometimes 160. And you're coming off that from like nothing. So yeah, I'm a bit of a daredevil. I love that adrenaline. Yeah, and he would do it. So he ended up blossoming into this unreal, like, he defied all odds because the fences were bigger than him sometimes, and he had a heart of a lion for me. I prefer riding him than the others because I knew that he had my back all the time. Oh God, I can't speak for him. I tried to hold it in.
It's fine, Danielle, it's fine, mate.
Yeah, and I ended up selling him. So silly, I'm so sorry.
It's not silly at all. You still sort of like always think about that regret. Of, like,
yeah, it's my
that.
biggest regret today.
Is it?
Yeah. I ended up selling it again because mum and dad pulling everything, because I thought, well, half of their money was mine because they were half my horses.
Yeah.
Sold the other one and then ended up selling him as well. And because of what he meant to me, I couldn't keep in touch. He went to America.
Right.
And he had a great life. Like, the woman who tried him over like 90 centimetres, which is just nothing to him, you know.
Yeah.
But I ended up getting in touch 12 months later to find out he'd died.
Really?
Yeah. Yeah.
Just broke you.
Yeah.
I've got you for you, mate.
Yeah. Still to this day, it's so silly. Like, 'cause I've told the story loads, but I feel like he's still around sometimes. You know.
I don't think you can ever sort of release that trauma. I had a dog put down when I was 17, and I fucking still to this day I find it so hard to talk about because I wasn't ready to let him go, even though it was his time. Yeah. Like, obviously it's different what you're saying. It's like, but.
No, it was the best. And then, like, last week, obviously, his song, so he's called X, or his show name on his passport was Explosive, because he was German. And we called him X in the stable, and then, so his song was X Gon Give It To You, right? So I pulls up at the hospital last week, and no word of a lie, that song come on. And I just broke down. This went on again. I was like, for God's sake, what is going on here? Why is he here? You know, I still feel, and it's probably sounds mad to people, you know, he's just a horse, and and a lot of show jumpers can buy and sell horses like willy-nilly, but he was just my best friend. And definitely, despite the bad boyfriends and everything else, he's my biggest regret to date. Still.
You'll never get over anything like that, will you?
No, not him.
No matter what you say.
No.
It's like what I'd say about my dog, and I say stuff like, if you've never had a dog, you never understand.
No.
So it's like you saying about a horse, like people will never understand until they've had one.
Yeah.
Have they?
So I had, before he went to America, I ended up having semen took off him.
Right.
Which, to this day, I still pay for.
Do you?
To have it, I had it froze. Because I've had a couple of his like babies.
Right.
Obviously not me.
Yeah.
I have him there. So yeah, I still feel like he's around a little bit. Yeah.
That's pretty cool, isn't it?
Yeah. Yeah.
So what happened after that then? Your horses and your like. Did you lose yourself for a bit then? Did you go into like sort of dark mode, or?
I think I just went into self-destruct, because I ended up buying a car and just literally, when I say I obliterated that money, like I went into the bank and the woman went, when she'd logged into my thing, oof, that's a lot of money. Like, because obviously I was just a kid. And she's obviously, I've got all these thousands in the bank, and I just bought a car. So we're talking 10 years ago, I bought teeth and
you're just trauma spending basically.
Yeah, like I could spend money. I had just carried thousands around with me all the time, and I just flooded it.
Who was Danielle back then? The person who she was, who was she? How did she identify as? Or were you just lost?
Just lost.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, just lost. And again, I suppose I'd split up with a boyfriend at that point. And yeah, just I never sort of got back to, I think selling him, I've always tried to come back into horses and stuff, but it's just not him. So I don't regret that, but it seems like a different part of my life.
Like a chapter that's kind of been closed.
Yeah. Yeah, and I have my little YouTube, and I go on every now and again and watch him, and and I think, God, I used to be sick, mate, at jumping, like, and I still miss that buzz and stuff, but it's such an expensive game, especially with everything now. It's so expensive anyway, isn't it? So, you need a lot of money to be in that game. I think I remember I had my first NQT year. I gave up teaching because I got a job as a PE teacher, did it for a year, ended up, the school had funding pulled, so I got made redundant, didn't want to go back into teaching, just was like a wrecking ball, but I didn't realise it at the time, you know. I was an absolute party animal as well, loved a good Blue Wicked, I'd be out all the time, and I think you don't realise until you actually look back on what you were doing.
How bad were you? As in, like, that was your identity, sort of pisshead, as in, like, party girl. I
mean, I'm not a big drinker, so I'm not going to make out that I used to, like, two wickeds and I'm wiggling around on dance floor. But, you know, I've never been a big drinker, but yeah, there's been a few times I've been absolutely, I've never took drugs or anything like that either. I never went down that route. So chuffed with that, I suppose, you know, I never took to that because...
But you try to fill a massive hole that was missing in your life.
And there was a massive hole. The ex-boyfriend that went to prison.
Right.
So that's why that ended up breaking down as well.
From the outside, does everybody think, oh, that's perfect Danielle? Like, perfect.
Yeah, I think a lot of people have a misconception of me.
Yeah.
They don't know how much of a big softie I am, but like just crying at a horse. You know what I mean? But I think because I portray that I'm this person, that everything's fine, and when it's really not, and I suppose people don't know what's going on in your own house, in your four walls, so the mum and dad thing, I think when I've spoke to people that I've grown up with now, they say, God, they used to be awful with you. You know, whether they wouldn't admit that. Ever. But, because they just say, like, we give you everything. And but then you did, but then you also take it away and it's a bribe, so that's not right either.
Was love ever involved in that relationship?
I used to be my daddy's girl.
Did you?
Yeah, definitely. My mum got very jealous of that because it was my dad that used to drive the wagon and stuff. So when my mum I had to stay at home to look after my sister or the shop, I went gallivanting, I suppose, with my dad. Here, there and everywhere, you know, right down south to right up in Scotland. And I suppose a bit of resentment come from my mum. She used to give me hell.
Gotcha.
Yeah, and she used to give my dad hell, to be fair. She's done wicked things to me. But I suppose I kind of understand, because now I'm older, I think it must have been a little bit shit, you know, always being left at home and stuff. Yeah. Maybe that could have been different. But again,
do you still reflect on things like that, do you?
In speaking, I can reflect on it. That sort of me talk. You'll never find me like crying about my mum and dad. Because that's done. I've made peace with that, and a lot of people find it crazy. But you know, I know you only get one mum and dad and everything else. But I think
it's an interesting conversation to have, isn't it?
Yeah.
Around this topic of, is your family good for you or not? And you only get one, and you got to kind of put up with it. And like, why did you have to put up with it? Yeah,
and I did, like I say, for years. But now I think you have to make peace. Like I questioned, you know, what if something happened, health-wise, to either of them, to me? So what would that look like?
What would that look like?
I wouldn't go to the funeral. I don't care. And that sounds awful. And I understand, and I do understand from somebody outside
it might sound awful, but does it feel awful to you? Or that feels all right to you?
It feels okay.
Because I was like, when my dad died, me and my brother went to his funeral. Not a nice guy, right? I won't get into it. But we felt obliged to go for some strange reason. And I was like, I don't really want to go, but we just stood at the back, and all these amazing people stood up and told these amazing stories about him. I'm just like, what the fuck is this shit? What an absolute sack of shite.
Yeah.
At the front, might have been brilliant. What a brilliant, charismatic fucking... But let me tell you some of the shit he used to do to us. So
I think that's...
I just find it an interesting conversation.
Yeah, because I don't think... Like you say, I think a lot of people put up with the grief of the family or like issues, but just you don't have to. My mum and dad don't know me, and I don't know them. No, I don't know my sister. My sister's had a baby since, I've been told. I've never looked because I don't want. But you don't know me anymore. What can we do? Reflect on the past. That's done, you know, and that was quite painful at points, so I don't want to. My mum and dad were if you met my mum and dad, even now, they'd be like, oh, you know, Danielle, she's amazing, she's a PE teacher, she's this, she's rode for England, blah, blah, blah. Close the door, they come to me, like, give me grief, and I just think, wow, like, you're not like that with me. And it was only when I got older that I actually started realising, you're full of shit, you. You are like poker face to death, because you big me up to everyone because you like looking good. No more. You're not using me as your power tool. Like, That's my right, not yours. So
Strong that, mate, innit?
yeah,
Where's that come from?
I don't know.
Is that just you? You're just your makeup?
Yeah. And I think I've come over the years, especially since running, the last 2 years, I've come to terms with me, who I am, the people around me. If you like it, you like it. And if you don't, move on. I don't care. Like, you're not going to be everybody's favourite person. You're always going to be a villain in someone else's story. And that's okay. Not everybody's made to gel, and not everybody thinks the same way as me or you.
What happened after the PE thing then? Where did you go from there? Who did you turn into then?
I ended up, after the PE thing, going doing makeup. I've always been really academic at school, but I chose like art as one of my subjects.
Just to explore, just to experience, because you were curious, you were...
No, I'm just really, I'm very good at drawing, I'm very creative, and that was just one side of me but that wasn't the route, when I was at school, my mum and dad, no, hairdressers, makeup artists, they're for the thick ones, you shouldn't do that. You need to go to university and get a proper job. That's how I was brought up, in simple words. So when I was at college, when I went to the good college, I did my A-levels in the day and knuckled down and did college at night school. Ended up getting my nails first 2 years, makeup, hair, and I did that in the background at uni, so I didn't get a job at uni. I used to do all the uni girls like nails and stuff because I commuted from uni and never stayed in, so that was my job, and it was better paid than working in a retail or whatever like you would do. I suppose I've always been a little bit different in that way, and you kind of like figure out how to make your money, don't you? Like it's always come to me naturally I don't realise at the time, but like now I think, God, you were actually quite clever doing that instead of getting a job for £4.50 an hour, because I was getting like 30 quid for a set of nails. It took me 2 hours. Do 5 of them, buzzing, so finished the PE and just was like, no, this is not for me. In that school, because the funding was pulled, all the naughty kids were left, because obviously all the parents that cared got them into the good schools while there was places. And you know what, the naughty kids, they were all right with me. I got on with them because I was young and I'm not condescending and stuff. I was just on their level, and I'll be honest, like Friday was, when I was working as a teacher, Friday was a great day for me. I had GCSE, core PE girls. There was about 10 of them in it, and it's core PE, so they never want to do it anyway. I had 1 lesson and 2 frees, so I used to go out Thursday night, because Thursday night was student night.
Right.
I used to rock in at 6 o'clock, and I had to be up and in school for like 7:30. Oh my God, how I did that, I never ever knew now. But so when that happened, I just thought, this is not for me. I should have gone into actually teaching PE, but in terms of like the body and more theory.
Right.
Because
like sports science kind of thing.
Yeah, because I'd done, after my NQT year, when I was in school, I'd done a sports psychology masters as well. Because I do love learning all the time. Still now, I want to learn all the time. So I'd done that, and I wish I'd have just pursued that route of actually teaching theory rather than, you can imagine, 30 year sevens, not like 2 of them can catch while playing rounders. Oh my God, the balls are everywhere. I was like, wow, this is not for me. So decided, you know what, I'm just going to do makeup mobile. And at the time, there was only one other person that was like good in the area. And I started off at a good price, because nobody knew. I just faked it.
What area were you doing?
So I was doing like Atherton, Leeds, Hillsley, Wigan, West Horton. So yeah, and I started off £35 for a full face of makeup, mobile. Ended up getting like 10-15 a day.
Fucking hell, mate.
Yeah.
That's a graft, isn't it?
Oh, I was grafting. I was out first thing in the morning till last thing at night. Again, a sacrifice, you know, because I am a workhorse. Like, and I'm not shy of work. But the money, I used to take £500 out of that. So I could do that like Friday, Saturday, and I'd do Sunday mornings. I've even worked Christmas morning for obviously a lot more. But people want their hair and makeup done for Christmas Day, then I'm here for it, you pay me. I used to take £500 a week, and I used to stash it in my boyfriend's wardrobe. I used to like bundle it up with the elastic bands and stash it, and this went on and on and on, and I ended up getting like, I used to love putting my hand behind that wardrobe because it was like wads and wads and wads. But I wasn't going out as such, because by the time I'd finished my last one, because you went out a bit later back in the day, didn't you? They all go out dead early now, and I would go out early now because I can't do a late night. But they used to go out at 10, so they're still having the makeup done at like 8:30 appointment, 9 o'clock appointment. So I'd been at it from in the morning. I used to do 12, 13, 14-hour shifts back to back. But the money is the incentive.
But what was that money for?
At the time, I didn't know.
Right. But you kind of knew, but you didn't know?
I think I was trying to get back what I'd blown.
Right.
As well. Because I literally had blown all that money and nothing to show for it other than some white lashes. And
did you feel a bit of sort of regret to the money you'd blown? You felt a little bit like you've kind of let yourself down
by getting like that money? I let him down.
Right.
Not actually myself.
Which is like reverse, isn't it?
Yeah, because like obviously I felt like I broke his heart.
Right.
Because he contracted a disease in America when they took him to a show. I think the EVH or something. It attacks the spinal cord and into the brain. And the woman's words to me, which I'll never forget, is he just didn't want to fight. And then that, obviously, I can feel myself again. That sort of, for me, I felt like I let him down and broke his heart, as well as him breaking mine as well. But yeah. I suppose.
So that money symbolised something so much more than money.
Yeah, well, 100%. Because you can, and I think to this day, if he was still alive, I would sacrifice anything to get him back. So you never know the reason why things happen. But I'm a great believer as he went there for a reason.
Yeah.
Probably to get me away from the ex-boyfriend. I believe that was because he was a bad un. I believe that was one of the reasons. And yeah, you just don't know, do you, at the time?
No, everything's a gift, everything's a reason. I truly believe that, and things that upset you and traumatise you are put in your way so you can overcome that to become the person that you're meant to be.
Yeah, and like I say, I would pursue any sort of equity in my house, any sort of house that I own, or any sort of money. I would have paid whatever to get him back over here. And obviously, ultimately, he's going to die anyway, because horses don't have a massive lifespan. He was 2004, so he'd be 20 now. Yeah.
Mad, isn't it, attachment?
Yeah.
It drives me insane. I'm like, I'd really like to have like a buddy's mentality where I'm not attached to my dog, and when he goes, I can just be okay with it because it's his time. But if I've not got that makeup. I don't think I can do it.
No, I think it's because you just care and connect as well with them. Yeah. They don't speak, do they? But I feel like they know.
Yeah, there's a knowing in there.
Like stallions are known to be like, they bite and, he went for me once and grabbed my face, like bit my face. It was a little shit, like it was really bad.
But you need that spice inside.
But he's spicy, yeah. He was spicy, like I used to get on him and he'd rear up and sock me in the face, and he was awful. But I loved it because I used to go in and the bell would go, like when I was in the ring, And if he didn't book and like just do a little skip behind, I knew there was something wrong, because every time I went in, the bell went, he'd like get and I thought, right, you're spicy today, let's go. We're gonna win this today. Yeah. But yeah, I do believe he died for the reason.
Yeah.
To help me now, because I would still be in pursuit of him. But yeah, I tell like certain people, but I probably don't go into this much depth.
It's good that you do, though, isn't it? It's like, me, you and Lucas talked on the Zoom, like, and I loved it, mate, because I love talking like this.
Yeah.
And it's rare that you find people on the same frequency who are all right talking about trauma and all right talking about darkness. And, you know, when you're on the same frequency, somebody start talking about it, you kind of heal yourself at the same time, don't you?
Yeah, and I feel like you heal others as well.
Yeah.
Because I feel like a lot of people don't like talking or are frightened of talking and expressing emotion, but I always believe just have to be, for years I've tried to people please. That was what I was really bad for.
Putting on an external show
all the time, because with that money that I saved up, I ended up buying my first house.
Makeup shop.
Yeah. So I'd got sick of, I remember the day, I was in Wigan, just come out doing someone's makeup, and I had to be in Hindley, and Wigan Latics had just come out of the stadium, or the traffic. Yeah. I'd allowed myself 20 minutes, which is enough to get to Hindley and the destination I was going, but I was late, so I was 50 minutes late for this appointment, and I had another 5 or 6 after that. The stress that I was under, because not everybody's nice, and they, at the end of the day, they just want their makeup done and going out because they've got time to meet. It wasn't my fault, but I remember just being so stressed that day, finishing the day and absolutely breaking down in tears. I can't do this anymore. I need a shop. I need a base to be from. That might look like losing some clients, because clients did like me going to their house, but I couldn't do it anymore. So
where was the shop?
The shop was I class it as Inley Green, but it's actually a Lee postcode. It's like the top of Westleigh.
Right.
So
what was it called?
Dolly Birds.
Right.
Yeah. It's called Dolly Birds because, have you ever actually looked up and Googled what a dolly bird is? No. So it's a really attractive person that's really thick.
Right. So
Lucas always used to say, like, he always used to call me a dolly bird, because he said, like, but you're not, because you're clever. I have no common sense, though.
From the outside.
Like, I'm very clever, but I can be really thick at the same time with common sense sort of stuff. Like, I don't really understand jokes and things. I have to ask, like, what do you mean? You know, I can kill a joke.
Yeah.
And I don't mean to, but it just happens. So I ended up buying that. And yeah,
you killed it, didn't you?
Yeah,
smashed it.
Yeah. It was. I wanted it to be the busiest salon around.
Just makeup.
It was makeup, hair, aesthetics, just you name it, everything in it. Nails. I had dreams of it being a franchise. And
good name, that, you know.
Yeah, and it'll always be like, I've still got the Instagram name and stuff like that. Yeah, I won't give it up. And it built really good. Very, very busy. Obviously, I'm a teacher, so we ended up getting it as an academy as well. I got in with the local school, so I ended up getting them in. So I was getting rent as well off all the girls, rent off the school.
Danielle.
I was being paid a teacher's wage. I was doing clients as well. I was.
What year was this?
Killing it. What do you mean?
What year was it that you set that up?
2018. Yeah, 2018. So I'll have had it in the May. We bought it in the December. Got the keys in March, and it opened in 12 weeks. So it opened at the end of May, and that was a back to brick refurb. I had my foot up everybody's arse.
Did you?
This needs to open on this. It was still having the sign put up on the day we opened. I wanted it to open on Bank Holiday weekend, May Bank Holiday weekend. But just because it's busy, it's great weekend. Like,
Glad I wasn't working for you.
I know, yeah. So yeah, I probably did drive everyone mad. Yeah, so it was good. 12 weeks it did, and it was booming. It was like the talk I had. There was not a single penny spared. I had the best of everything.
The Danielle when you first opened to the Danielle that I know now, is that a different Danielle?
She's still sassy and she still likes nice things like that, Danielle. But yeah, I'm a totally different person now.
Because of the reason you're about to tell me.
Yeah. So we had, I ended up, right, okay, so I employed people. I wanted to employ the hair girls, but I wanted the upstairs to be rented out, self-employed, when they just pay for a room. So I'd ended up having, like, one of my friends who's still my friend, she's a close friend, she rented the room doing aesthetics, brows, semi-permanent makeup and stuff. I had another girl in the other room, again I still speak to, and then I had some makeup girls as well. At the time I was doing solely makeup at that point when we opened, because I was just so busy. I mean, I'd do the odd like hair up and stuff, but it was busy doing makeup. I'd stand in that window all day, like crazy. But I knew it weren't what I wanted to do forever. I wanted to work smarter, not harder. And that meant me not being a lady of leisure, but not standing there grafting all day.
How do you know that? How do you come to that? Watching YouTube videos? What are you?
No, I think
You just knew something.
I think my mum and dad have always been business.
Right.
So they had the news agents.
So they're giving you that?
Yeah, definitely. They had the news agents, and obviously news agents kind of like faded, didn't they, when like Tesco Expresses come up and stuff.
My mum and dad are news agents.
Did they? Yeah, oh, great sweet shop. Oh my God, boiled sweets. I used to have anything that I wanted for school, millions, you name it.
Any mad dad?
Yeah, anything. Well, they're not even
then
allowed
after she
that
finished
now.
then she got into the pub trade with my granddad, which is
Really?
It's weird you saying it, honestly.
Well, my mum and dad in the shop knew that this was happening.
Yeah.
And proactively bought a limo. I know. So they had a limo and wedding car business. So when they sold the shop, they moved to Atherton, and had a limo and wedding car business. But they've always been business. And my mum, like, as much as I've said negative stuff about it, I would never say anything that's not true. Yeah. And she has fought for that business, you know, because businesses go through hard times and stuff, and buying limos and things, and people probably taking advantage with like credit, you know, and stuff like that. She's fought for that business, and she was always on the email. She grafted, and that's probably where I get that sort of graft
Which is,
from.
we'll take that, won't we? We'll take that from her.
Yeah,
Appreciate
100%.
that. Yeah.
100%.
Lot to be said about that, isn't there?
Yeah, she's always grafted.
So when you're standing in that window, you got that in your head thinking, I need to get out of this. This is my smarter, not harder.
So I employed the hairdresser at the time, and she was a local girl. I think she did a year, maybe. But the problem is with me, I become friends with everyone. And you can't, can you? They say you can't when you have a business.
I struggle with that.
Yeah, because then when you come to like bollock them or pull them up on something, they take it very offensively. And I always try and say, you know, you have to split our relationship out of here with what I'm trying to tell you in here, because this is for the business. So basically, I'm just a really shit boss because I'm just too friendly, and I'll hold my hands up to that. So she ended up leaving, and she left on fine terms, and then she went to another salon doing self-employed. Unbeknown to me, it come out after, like it does. It'd been planned. And then a few months later, she'd opened her own salon.
Sort of take everything that you've done.
Yeah, I think that's what happens, isn't it? You know, people get green-eyed monster, and they get very...
I can do that myself, yeah.
Yeah, they get very envious of, like, successful people, and I didn't realise that was me. I mean, Lucas always used to say, like, you don't understand, like, the influence that you have on people.
Yeah.
Because for me, I'm just me.
You have got a magnetic energy about you, haven't you? Yeah, you do, mate. Yeah, where you like it translate through the room and stuff.
But
it's a good thing.
That's what he says,
Yeah,
but I think when you're you,
Yeah.
I'm just being me, and you don't realise that. So I think obviously I'd influenced her to go and pursue her dreams and get a salon and whatnot, but then that left me in the mess because I was qualified to do like hair ups and stuff like that, but I wasn't qualified to colour. So I had no hairdresser at this point. And I had an apprentice as well she'd come to me when we very first opened. So we opened in the May. Her prom was in July of that year. And mum, dad come in and quite, no, looking probably overpowering.
Yeah.
Very kiss ass now, looking back, and attentive and trying to butter people up, which it obviously worked because she got an apprenticeship with me, which was under the hairdresser. But now she left, I needed to replace that hairdresser. Fuck, what do? I'll become an hairdresser.
No way.
I did. I went on a course.
No, you didn't.
I did. I went on a course not far from here. All accredited VTCT, because if I'm doing it proper. So yeah, I went on a course, did a 6-month course, but I knew a lot of it because I knew like some people on that course couldn't even, so it was a 2-year course hairdressing, and this course was private, so it was cut down to 6 months. But some of the people on that course couldn't even wand hair or blow dry hair. So obviously I already had that. So I was flying through all my qualifications at the start. And then I started colouring. And as I was learning, I was doing clients. But I'm academic, so I got books. I read books. I read about the colour wheel. I read about what bleach does and the porosity of the hair. And I studied and I studied and I studied and I faked it till I made it. Yeah.
I think your butt's up solid, weren't you?
Yeah. Yeah, solid. I'd do 3-4 grand a week.
Were you proud of yourself, like?
Now, yeah, I think.
At the time, like, would you ever stop yourself and kind of give yourself a pat on the back?
No. At the time, it was like,
because people get you wrong, don't they? From like, they say you that, they don't know you, do they?
No.
They don't know you.
They don't, because they probably don't. You don't have the opportunity to speak like this, do you?
Yeah.
So they don't know the stress that I was put under at that time. Like, that shop, as much as I love it, it's also the devil, because it's caused me so much heartache, pressure. I was making myself poorly, and I think the shop was the start of probably a deterioration of, because we opened in the May. I'd had my boobs done in the January just before we'd opened. I'm trying to like be this person. I don't know.
What person was it?
I don't actually know. I don't know. It was, but I was
successful.
Yeah.
Hair salon owner. Look, I've got everything.
Yeah, probably. And I used to walk around, I used to have Balenciagas and you name it. I was head to toe in designer gear. I'd never rub it in anyone's face, but it was there.
You look the part.
I had Balmain tops, whatever I wanted, a nice car. And I probably, whatever I want, I get now, but I'm not asked about designer stuff now. Like, it's nice, but I could take or leave it.
Yeah. You're not attached to it.
No, whereas I used to think that was my status.
Yeah.
But with that, and I suppose on this running journey, I wasn't overweight. I was always a size 10, probably 12 stone. But I am only like 5'5". I look at pictures and I think, like, I regret having my boobs done so much then. I wish I'd have got to a place where I'm at now and decided to have them done then. Saved me a lot of money. And so I wish I'd have done that. But I think sometimes, like, even things like being a bit overweight, you don't realise why. But maybe the trauma with the mum and dad and stuff, because they were still in my life when I was opening the shop as well. they didn't help with the refurb at all or anything like that. So I reflect back and think, oh, you're so silly. And then I ended up having lipo as well in the July 18, so May, June, July, yeah, so 3 months after opening I had lipo. Biggest waste of money ever, because you just put the weight back on, because I just ate chips. And I used to be Mackey's queen, like me and Mackey's were every day, religiously. God.
You're trauma eating?
Probably, yeah, you know.
Yeah.
I think when you're brought up on the road as such, like with the horses and that, you do, you know, it's quick and easy, just grab a Mackey's at the service station or Chippy or whatever, or we've got late, we'll just have like junk food, and it don't catch up to you, does it, until like you get a bit older, and then it's like boom. And I just Red Bull and chocolate and just so unhealthy. And it's not unhealthy in moderation, is it? But it was constant, and I was obviously not happy because I've had lipo and I've had my boobs done, and what are you trying to achieve with this? So yeah, the girl left. I become a hairdresser. Then I was obviously mentoring. So I'm new myself and I'm mentoring an apprentice. But I think the academic side of me was what won that war. Probably being a bit older, getting my head stuck in. I did it.
You love the back against the wall thing,
I do.
Back's against the wall, I'm like, fucking come out, mate.
I do, it's when I'm best.
Yeah,
It is when I'm best. And yeah, I've still got like my first ever set of highlights and stuff. And when I say I went on every course, even when I was still not receiving a certificate, I was going on like seminars, how to learn about balayage and the new trends, and I followed my hair page. I followed every trendy hairdresser. I saved every toner formula, every one. I understood it. I analysed it. This was me. Like, I used to finish work, come home, sit down, have my tea, and look at hair all night. It was ridiculous.
Why do you think? Why?
Why did you be the best?
Why didn't you just find someone else? Why did you choose to do it? Were you proving something?
Probably. I don't know. I couldn't answer that, but probably. And I just in reflection, the hairdresser that was, now I thought she was great, but she wasn't. She was shit. Because then I learnt about her and realised actually how dog shit she were. And probably why she weren't holding on to clients and stuff. But you don't realise that when you don't have the knowledge, do you?
I just find it mad you chose to take that position.
Yeah.
And when I'll do that.
Control. I took back control. I felt...
Right, okay. So it goes back to your mum and dad. You felt like you were kind of out of control.
Yeah.
You've hated being out of control in that moment because she left.
Yeah.
I don't want to get someone else in because it can happen again. You've gone, right.
Got the control back. But I still wanted to employ people.
Yeah.
Because the dream was still there. Like, I was bringing up this apprentice. I wanted another apprentice. I wanted another, stylist. But to get them, so very few and far between. Because anyone that's decent works for himself in hair, And if they're not, they're the babies, and they can't run a business, but they're still amazing and they're still too busy going out. So it was like a catch-22 really with that. And yeah, I've become very, very close to my apprentice, like very, very close. We were like sisters. And mum used to come in and have her hair done. So she was like her first little client as well. Dad, they're very well known for being, I don't know how to say it, like bigger, better, get what they want. I don't know, full of shit.
Yeah.
They're known around my area for that. She used to come in, try to tell me how to run the business and stuff, but I'm nice, so I was listening, and like I valued her opinion, because maybe she stepped in for the mum that I didn't have, you know, at that point, because she was very attentive, very attentive, you know, not just to her daughter but to me as well. Like she used to pay me compliments, and I've never had that, like, really. So yeah, probably a bit flattered and stuff, and you carry on and business goes and stuff. So she does her first year, and I think at that point I was in school as well at this point, so I'd got a job, been approached by the school down the road, got a job in the school, and they were just unreal sort of money, like, you know.
The academy side, the training side of it.
Yeah. And that's when the academy started, because I seen a bit of what I went through doing that 6-month course of hair, and thought, they're not even like proper teachers. Like, I can teach so much better than that, because I'm so passionate about making people great. And so I went through the same process of having the building certified by VTCT, so it was all accredited.
So you had a Dolly Birds Academy?
Yeah, so I had Dolly Birds Academy, so that evolved. So I was like branching, and there's just me. I'm doing makeup, I'm doing hair. So eventually I ended up having to come off the makeup, because it was just too much. I was downstairs doing hair, I'd fly up, do someone's face, come back down. I was run ragged, like, it's stupid. Now I look back, and no wonder I was eating junk food. I was just grabbing and doing whatever I could. Obviously never exercised. I'd had a PT, but you know, when you're just kidding yourself, you're not actually doing the diet. I used to train really hard if I went to the gym, probably because I was like hench, you know. I used to lift a good weight, but yeah, I weren't doing the right things, because obviously fat loss is for diet mainly, isn't it? So she left, that hairdresser. I was in full front. I dropped the makeup, got another makeup girl as well, so that was being sorted, because women come in and have the package, you know. And it was great that that's what it was, you know. As a salon, I wanted it to be a one-stop shop. And then so Mondays, I think I had Mondays off. Tuesday I was in school in the morning, and then I'd have the academy in the afternoon from 1 o'clock. Wednesdays were the academy, school on Thursday morning, and then Thursday afternoon I'd go in at 1 o'clock till 10 o'clock, sometimes 12 o'clock, doing hair. Friday I'd be in at 6 till 9, Saturday 6 till 9 again, and sometimes Sunday I'd pick up makeup again. So I was grafting, but I mean, the cash flow, now in reflection, you don't actually realise what you've got. It was a lot, like a lot, and you live to your means. So, you know, buying trainers willy-nilly from Selfridges was just, I didn't get what the big deal was, you know. Now I appreciate it a lot more. So then COVID hit, fast forward to 2020. Well, you'd heard about this COVID thing. Yeah. And like, I actually took the mick out of it in the shop. And I remember doing that, and it had gone a little bit quiet in the shop as well at that point. That me and, she was 17 at that time, we decided, like, TikTok had just come on the scene, so we were doing TikTok dances in the shop, you know, and I was learning my two left feet, I was getting them moving and stuff, and that's the sort of person I was, like, you know, I was a lot older than her, but I could get on her level, you know, and have a bit of fun. And then I think it was in March 2020, wasn't it, that we ended up going into a lockdown.
I think it was 4 years yesterday.
Was it?
Yeah.
Oh my God.
I think it was 4 years yesterday.
And I'll be honest, now that changed my life. Like, I was a director of 2 companies. My partner was a director of 2 companies. He couldn't work. I couldn't work. I didn't have any furlough. I was just on the wage of school. And throughout that time when COVID was happening, apart from my wage because I was employed for them hours. The school were rotten. They owed me like $2,000 in, like I used to buy makeup and stuff off my discount. So I used to pay it and then they used to give it me back.
Yeah.
So we've gone into lockdown, like I need that money.
You just shut up shop, did they?
Yeah, so we couldn't do anything. And they weren't paying the rent as well, because they were rotten now, I think about it. Not paying and stuff when you're in such a crisis. Because at first I think you just thought, oh well, it's all right. And then a couple of months I thought, oh my God, like we are chewing into the savings here, like house, car, you know, just the little bits that you take for granted that's paid every month.
Yeah.
When the money stopped coming in, it just starts going dun 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 dun, and I was like, wow, what are we gonna do? In panic, we put the car on stop, we put the mortgage on stop, as I think a lot of people did as well. And I was still seeing, you know, you weren't supposed to see people in COVID, and I understand that. I was still seeing my apprentice. She'd come round to my house. It was my birthday in May the 4th. And I remember her sitting on my couch and she'd brought cake round, and all the girls had come on the front and brought me like little bits of things, you know, blue wickeds and stuff like that. And it was lovely. And then fast forward to June. We opened again in June, didn't we? Mm-hmm. Opened in June. As an agreement, when you start being an apprentice with me, they don't usually have a page. So I make them set up a Facebook page, Instagram page for them, for their hair to like display it. And then I used to share it onto the Dolly Bird page. Like I had my own and then shared it onto Dolly Bird. So you know whose work is whose. But with that come that I had access to that page, to the messages, because it was under Dolly Bird. So it was like, I'm Danielle Dolly Bird. And so it was her name and then Dolly Bird. So I don't know why. You
felt something.
Yeah, and I am very like that. I can pick up when people are being strange and stuff like that. I just went onto the Facebook because I suppose I had the time to in the June still, and she'd been dead weird this day. Like mithering me for a toner. Can I go to the shop? I really need this toner. I'm going to sell it for you, you know, like, because we had to think of other ways to bring revenue in. So we were making like selling toners, selling like little purple shampoos, you know, so people's hair weren't yellow and stuff like that. Because obviously women went into a meltdown, didn't they? My hair, like box dye, all this. So I thought she was being dead helpful. But this one day she was being overly powering. And I just picked up on it and I was like, no, you can't go to the shop. And I never used to say that. She used to have her own key. Oh, no, you don't. I don't want you to go to shop. Unbeknown to me, on these messages, when I then looked, and I honestly don't know why I looked, she was getting it because she was doing someone's hair in COVID, unqualified, behind my back. Yeah.
More than one?
Yeah. But the worst thing is, these messages were on the 4th of May while she was sat in my lounge on my couch as well. Now, I know that's only a minor detail, but for me, that's really, yeah.
That's a lot to me, that.
But to her, obviously, she...
So she sat there on your birthday, brought you around stuff, and she sat on the counter messaging someone about, should we get your hair sorted?
Yeah.
Knowing full well she's going to use your stock.
Yeah.
Use your brand name. She's not qualified.
And you're in COVID when you're not supposed to be really seeing people. Let alone, like, this girl weren't a friend. She was a stranger to her. But she was a young girl. And I suppose you can't blame the girl. She just wanted her hair done. Like most people. But, yeah.
This girl you thought it was like, you treat like your sister.
Oh, yeah. 100%.
You had no clue.
No clue.
There was just something.
Yeah. I just picked up. I can't tell you why. I don't know. I just picked up and I just wouldn't let her go in the shop that day.
How did you feel when you saw it for the first time, when you saw that message?
Just gutted.
Destroyed you?
Yeah. Because trust is like
Loyalty.
everything. Loyalty, oh my God, loyalty.
Yeah.
Like that is my biggest thing. Like you've got to be loyal.
Yeah.
And confronted her, pulled her up on it. Obviously, me and her mum used to message like as well, and yeah, I said.
How did you deliver it? Like, were you mad? Like, or how did you approach it?
Yeah, I think I was mad.
Were you?
I was mad. I think, I'm the sort of person I get really upset and then get, right, I'm fucking mad now, I'm coming for you. Like, don't you take the piss out of me, because I know I'm a good person and I've always questioned that.
Yeah.
It's only like the last few years that I am concrete that I will do anything for anyone. Mm-hmm. You have to be loyal and the right person for me. And it was her 18th in the July. Listen, she's 17. People make mistakes. I've made loads. I'll give her another chance. She apologised. Looked sincere.
So when you confronted her, she apologised, did she?
Yeah. Mum backed it up. She would never do anything to it. I still, to this day, have a folder with every single message in that lockdown. And everything that I'm going to tell you in a minute as well. I still have a folder to this day on my phone with every bit of evidence, every scrap of evidence.
What have you kept it for? Do you just
because
know?
One
do you know
day
something?
I'll prove I'm right.
Right.
Because one day people will know the truth. And people might not give a shit. In fact, I know that probably most people don't give a shit.
Yeah.
But I'll feel better because of what happened to me.
Yeah.
So it's a birthday in July. I invited all the girls from the shop. We were going to Casa Nostra in West Orton.
Oh, yeah.
And there's about 8 or 9 of us at the time, and paid for them all a meal. I paid for it all at the business. Took her a full day, took her to the Trafford Centre, took her in Selfridges.
You told this story before?
No. Not live, but not
Yeah.
publicly. So
Okay.
yeah.
Let's go, Danielle.
Yeah, I know. So yeah, not publicly. Obviously, people close to me know bits. So yeah, I took her to Trafford, went in Selfridges, bought some Jimmy Choos.
Did you?
Yeah. Yeah, because don't
I
forget.
wish I was working for you. Well, in fact, no, I don't. I don't know, fuck. That's not worth any Jimmy Choos, that is it?
And you know what? She used to work really hard. She grafted. But I seen a lot of me in her, like, work ethic. She was, and again, like, this person has literally ruined my life and made it better in the same sense. But I won't say anything that's not true. Yeah. She was a grafter. She was very good at hair at the time when I'm saying at the time because I don't know now, I don't look.
She ruined your life.
Yeah, she ruined my life. So after this birthday, we'd had a great time. I think all in all, it was like 1,200 quid altogether that we'd spent on her throughout the day. But it's her 18th, you were only 18 once, I was all about Balenciagas and things like that, so give her some Jimmy Choos, why not? That's what good bosses do. And I wanted to be that employer that treated people like that. I wanted to buy people cars and, set them up as well. Because if I can, then I will help. Because if you're working hard for me, I'll give back to you in whatever way I can. So yeah, that was that. And then time went on, and
You're still checking a Facebook page? Or have you kind of gone more?
Probably a bit, but then just tapers off, doesn't it? Because you get brought back into this sort of false sense of security. And then we went back in lockdown, didn't we, in the November. So went in lockdown in November. I think that was only a month though. Bearing in mind as well, a little detail, I was paying her full wage. I weren't paying her just the furlough, I was paying her full wage. I'm not saying it was a lot, but it's a lot when you're not getting any income. Mm-hmm. I was paying all the girls full wage in lockdown, because I know some even big companies were just paying basic furlough. So we went into lockdown, come back in December, caught her again. This time she handed a notice in.
How did you catch her?
Being silly. So at night, we'd had one client left in that she was doing, and I was there. And one of her friends was ringing her phone, FaceTiming her phone, and I went, oh, such a body's FaceTiming you. She went, oh, well, get it for me and just tell him I'll ring him back. I went, no, wait, I'll get it. And it went off. So I was at the back washes, which is like at the back of the salon, and she was on like one of the front chairs. And you know what, you swipe up to like try and get back to call them back. I'd done that, but I'd swiped and gone and seen the messages on, because she must have had messages like as the last opened or whatever. And I could see it there.
What?
Like about her, I could see her client in her, like saved, because obviously I know people's names, I know whose clients they are. And you work for the shop, you shouldn't be taking clients, you know, because when you own a business, like you work goddamn hard to build that clientele, you know, all the hours posting on Facebook and content and stuff, you're generating that attraction. For you to then undercut me cheaper and pocket it, no, that's not. And you'll only understand that when you have a business. And I just put the phone down and went upstairs in one of the girls' rooms, and I just cried my eyes out. Yeah, because it's happened again. And I think I was just so upset that I've given her another chance. You've literally kicked me in the teeth again. So I think I went outside, sat in the car, rang my partner, probably a bit upset, a bit like distraught, you know, like shouting, but just crying and bawling. Anyway, fast forward, that was...
What did you do after that moment, after that cry? What did you pull yourself together and got angry again?
I pulled myself together, went in the shop and I said, can I have a word?
Right.
So I took her away from a client at that time and took her upstairs and said, you're doing that again, basically. Because it chews at me, you know, and eats me up.
I've got to talk, mate. I've got to do. I can't go to sleep on it.
No, I have to sort things out. If we fall out, it's very easy. We just sort it out now. I'm like, you know, I can't leave stuff. So I did that. And
what did she say to you?
She didn't really say a lot.
Not apologise, not kind of hold her hands up.
No, because it was like, why have you been on my phone? But I haven't been on your phone. I've not gone and took your phone and took it upstairs. I'm not. That's a cop out, you know. It's like when you get caught cheating and you're like, well, why have you been on my phone? No, the thing is you're cheating. Like, it's not about the person being on the phone. And that night she went home, told her mum and dad, and then, oh my God. Told
your mum and dad what?
God knows what she relayed to them. But then they come in, dad is, he's just a big cock. Like, he's just a real cock end.
What, they came in threatening you?
A dad is just like, it's like throwing his weight about but can't back it up. So like, he's good on a message, you know. And he's a big guy. I'm not saying he's not a big guy, but he's just soft. He's soft. You know, at the end of the day, if you're going to say something, you've got to back it up.
All cock and no balls.
Bad. And, you know, my princess this. And, well, your princess needs to find some morals, because this is not the way to go about life. And then...
Did you fire her there and then?
No.
What did you do?
She handed a notice in. And I felt relieved. Because I didn't want to be the one to fire her. Because...
Why?
It comes back to selling him, right, the stallion, X. Since that day, because that was such a bad decision, I struggle now making decisions.
Right, okay.
And that transcends in food, what we have for tea, like that transcends in every aspect of my life. So I didn't want to make the decision of firing her, because I didn't know if it was right or wrong, or, you know, do I need her for the shop?
Because you know the trauma attached to when you made a wrong decision.
Yeah. So, again, it just boils down to reflecting and actually being at peace with everything, which I have done now. And yeah, she handed a notice in. Brill. Like,
Yeah.
I felt like I could be just still the same with her, like, within reason, because she was going anyway. And 24th of December, always get like, it's always an easier day, even though it's busy, you know, blow dries and stuff, but no like really mad transformation hair colours or anything. I always get like Yorkshire wraps and stuff like that in the shop, and it's just fun because it's Christmas and I love Christmas. You know, I just love everybody's happy and it's just nice. And she asked at the end of the shift, can I have a word? So I just thought maybe she, obviously walking upstairs, thought maybe she's just wanting to say like bye, and started crying. So I thought, well, like, I don't know what to react, because my reaction is, if I see someone cry me, I cry. I'm really soft. Or like give them a love. And I was like, what's up? I don't want leave, all this. So I was just took back on, I didn't know what to do. And I gave her another chance. I know, I am a melt. I did.
Oh my God, Danielle.
I did. But I didn't realise we were going back into another lockdown. So we went into another lockdown in the January, didn't we? Now, strategically.
Everything choice comes back to that horse, doesn't it?
Yeah. Yeah, 100%. All the time. And people can't understand. But yeah, I can. It always goes back to him. Give her another chance. Still there, you know, fair enough, you won't do it again, blah, blah, blah. Swore blind, had a mum in, apologising, this, that and the other.
Did he come back in and apologise to you for the way he was?
He just kept messaging Lucas, like, he's very dismissive of women.
Right, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just like...
Not worth talking about,
like,
is he?
He's just like, used to message him on like Facebook, don't tell Danielle. Of course he's going to tell me, because his balls wouldn't be worth having if he didn't tell me and I found out. You know what I mean? Like, why would he start being sneaky with me? I've not deserved that from him. So I come home and he tells me, and I just think, what a dick he is. But I still saw some good in her, because she's 18 and you're still so impressionable at that age as well. I know that you know right and wrong, but you are very impressionable at 18. And I just thought, you've just got a bit of a dick of a dad and a gobshite of a mother. Like, because she never worked, she just did the dad's accounts.
So you could see yourself in her?
Yeah, like, and 100%, you know. Okay. Your mum thinks she's this...
Because you've never had that help before,
yeah.
have you? And you wanted to do this...
I wanted to take her under my wing.
Right.
At this time, I also had another apprentice start.
Yeah.
Throughout that year, who I'd like kind of let the older one off with a lot of things. She used to be very condescending to her, and I don't know, like, I used to do stuff like, come on, like, you know, in front of clients and stuff, like, really things that I just like cringe at now and think, wow, I should have nipped that right in the bud. I mean, I did pull her up every now and again. Yeah. But I'll be honest, it probably did turn a blind eye sometimes. So yeah, went back into the lockdown, and then they started being really weird, because we were allowed to see each other, like certain people want you in that January lockdown. So we were coming into the shop, the girls, the makeup, the young apprentice, and just doing like hair ups for videoing, and just I don't know, trying to keep some sort of routine, because you're up and down, and it was just hard time on it for everyone, COVID. So did that, but you know, she was still getting paid full. I know she didn't have to come into work. I didn't have a gun to her head, and it weren't work. We were just messing around. Like, I'd end up doing their hair for free, you know, upstairs, so nobody, you know, them busybodies look through the window and stuff. And we did each other's hair, and then took pictures of it, looked good for the gram and stuff like that. And then she started being weird and Mum, asking me to push her through a qualification, because she was... Yeah. So, again...
I've heard this before.
If you try and, like, push me to do something, it's just not the right thing to do. I'll do it in my own time, but as soon as you start pushing me, I kind of, like, freak and go, no. it might be my best decision to make, but I'm still going to, because you're forcing me. And I can't make decisions very lightly or quickly. So it's an issue. So yeah, I just got me back up a bit, and I was like, no, like, I'm going to do X, Y, Z. Well, why? And questioning me, and starting being very overpowering. This was a mum. Then I had a voice note of her dad, which I still have now, because I recorded it, because I'm not stupid. I just sent something.
What did he say?
Being really horrible on the phone, like being very aggressive.
And threatening.
Threatening, yeah. Which is his behaviour. It's definitely a him problem, but must be his way of dealing with things. And then next minute I receive a sick note.
Uh-oh.
Yeah.
I've been through this one.
Yeah, so this sick note, and I thought, a sick note? You're not even in work.
Well, let me guess, was it mental health?
Yeah, mental health. Right, well, let me tell you, lady, you've never had a mental health, but you've caused me a lot of it. So, yeah, mental health for what? Are you okay? Like, the only people causing you mental health is your mum and dad. Like, 100%, not me. I know. It was a really tough time, but I actually don't regret it now.
Yeah.
And then I think did we open in the April again?
I think so, yeah.
So I remember I was at the farm, because I still have a mare that I loan out. She's dead old. I was at the farm, and then next minute I get some message. This is 2 weeks before we're due to open. Bearing in mind, we've been open, shut. We've not earned anything, the business, as what you should for this amount of time, for nearly a year. 2 weeks before we open, I get some message, have you seen that on Facebook?
Oh no, Danielle.
I went, what? Screenshots come through. Still got the screenshots. I know every single person that liked it. I know every single person that shared it. And I know every single person that commented on it and what they commented. And I've still got every bit of evidence.
What did it say?
That I'd abused her. Making her work long hours without a break. That's not true. Like, unfortunately, in a 9-to-5 job, sat down, you get a 12 o'clock break. Brilliant. Good for you. But in hairdressing, if you're an apprentice, you have to start off like an hairdresser. And I'm sorry, you don't get a 12 o'clock break, because if that colour needs to come off at 12 o'clock, you have to take that colour off. It's tough. Everyone knows that who's hairdressing. Yeah. And you just grab and go when you can, you know. It was a busy salon. You know, she loved it. She loved the work. Always was entitled to a break. And as an apprentice, they used to have to clean at night time, because, well, I'm the owner. So, not that I'm too good to clean. I would get stuck in, but the apprentice, you need to learn the dog's body jobs as well of apprenticeship.
Discipline, it kind of teaches you, yeah.
Of course. I'd abused her. I was this person, that person, the other. Honest to God, it was horrific. And it's not that, like, I'm a celebrity, but I felt like one. A really bad one. It went viral round Lee, Atherton, and I just could see the numbers growing and people commenting, and people commented in this, right, that I've again got screenshots of her slagging them off, calling them. They're commenting and she's endorsing it. And I thought, you two-faced bitch. I've got these messages that you've called that person. But at that time, I just didn't know what to do. So I just stayed quiet.
What's Lucas saying to you?
And I just broke down. And I broke down at the farm. I did not know. I was beside myself. Like, I've took pictures of my face at the time, and I looked like everything was so swollen. So swollen. I must have cried for like 3 days straight. because it was not ending. It was continuous. It was every morning I'd wake up to something, another thing shared, another comment. People were telling me, you might as well kill yourself, you scruffy cunt. Yeah, I was getting death threats. It was a full lie. It was a lie. There was 2 people, my next door but 2 neighbour. I did her 2 daughters' hair. She stuck up for me. The dad was writing on, do whatever, find me this person's address. And putting her all over social media. So her daughters were then distraught because their mum she's only stuck up for me because she put, and the award goes to, trying to be sarcastic.
Yeah, just making light-hearted.
Yeah, and then that went, and it was like anything that anyone did, it was like the whole family of theirs jumped on all of it, and people just love the opportunity to like tear you down. And there was another girl as well that stuck up for me. But I mean, out of how many people I know, 2 people, and I understand, and I don't hold anything against anyone. It's probably intimidating to be open and get involved in something that doesn't involve you, that's so brutal. But yeah, it was bad. I wanted to kill myself. I tried.
Did you?
Went to the shop and locked myself in. Just don't know how to tie a slip knot.
That was what you were thinking of doing?
Thankfully. Yeah.
Is that what you're thinking of doing?
Yeah. Yeah, I started cutting myself. My arm. All down here.
Just because you were that numb?
I just wanted something to take it away.
Right.
I'd not had a doctor for 7 years because we'd moved from Leigh, my mum and dad, to Atherton, and then I moved to Hinley. And I'd not registered with a doctor because I'm just not one of them. If I've got a cold, I just suck it up and sort it out. I ended up having to go to the doctor for sleeping tablets and something to calm me down, which again, it's just not me. If you know me, like, I'm very strong-minded, and yeah, it just ruined me. It's totally ruined me. And we were 2 weeks off opening. We'd had no money as well, to like live. And then this happened, and I think everybody suffers with a bit of anxiety. Yeah. But God, it's just triggered something in me that it just ruined, it literally shattered me, and I've had to build myself back slowly. I couldn't let Lucas be within anywhere away, 10 minutes away from me. He had to be in the shop. So when we opened the first 2 weeks, he had to be there. He had to be there in the shop. So he stayed in the shop for all them hours.
Bless you.
Like, he just used to bring butties and food and like any sort of chocolate and drink, and yeah, just. And then when the shop started getting too busy, I used to have to go to the back and breathe and take a tablet, and I was just putting a front on. And don't get me wrong, like, the girls that come in, they're obviously, not that it's about sides, but they obviously didn't believe, and like, obviously I appreciate them coming in and stuff.
Are you trying to do anything to sort of say anything, or are you ignoring it and try to crack on? Yeah.
So people who had done mobile for years had commented on that post and then left and gone to her.
Wow.
That blew my mind. These one of the people that stick in my mind. I'd done a wedding, like, you know me. That baffles my mind. Like, no way are you believing that shit that she's wrote. Honestly, and like, half of me was so, it's like I had a gag on, because I had all this evidence, not for everybody, but for a lot of the people. Usually it was like ex-staff members and stuff like that commenting. A lot of the people, I've got you calling them in black and white, like, not just me saying it like you are, and I've got my responses to it that I'm quite happy to share. And I never respond like in a derogatory way to you slating someone. You was a bitch. And yeah, that happened, and then 3 weeks after opening, Lucas ended up in a big crash on the M60. He rolled a van from the third lane, where the Worsley coming on. Yeah. He was already on the motorway. Yeah. And a guy had had an attack or something, a fit, gone into Central Reservation, slammed into Lucas in a big tranny van, spun Lucas to oncoming traffic, and the van had rolled to the hard shoulder, just as you know how bad that junction is coming on. Still got the skid marks on that Central Reservation now, and mad. He got out of that alive. And yeah, he ended up breaking his wrist, fracturing his wrist.
Was that it?
That was it. I mean, he didn't look well. Yeah. He didn't look well. I mean, he wouldn't even have a Mackey's. So, because I tried to give him a Mackey's, like, come on, wait till you're out, food.
Must be bad.
It must be bad. I dragged him to the hospital. They sent him away, said they were nothing up with him. Sent him back the next day, went, no, that is not right. Yeah. Ended up fracturing it. Literally, last week we got paid for that. From all that time ago, he had 6 months off work. 6 months off work. So it was on me, and I'm a mess.
What do you do?
Just do what I always do and crack on.
Back against the wall. Fucking come out, mate.
You've just got to, haven't you?
I don't know. Like Danielle, a lot of people crumble, mate, and just fucking call it quits.
Yeah, I was just not doing that. Like, I'd worked hard. This shop was our life. We've had COVID, it was shit, but I was determined not to let her be. And so some clients went, but I think I was just more gutted that you believe and you're following that sort of person. But then if you follow that sort of person, then I don't want you anyway. Yeah. You're not my person. Yeah. So yeah, I had a lot of support of people I still speak to today, like, obviously in the shop we had like tunics on, you could still see the scarring on my arms and stuff, and I'd get messages like, they would never say it in person, probably knowing how fragile I must have been, even though I was poker facing it and trying to be really brave.
What does it mean, if you don't mind me asking, what to kind of harm yourself, to hurt yourself? You're basically like, it's hurting so much on here that you're doing that to just a little bit of relief, even if it's for like a few seconds.
Yeah, just take your mind off it, just for a minute, because it was constant. Yeah. I had the horse at that time as well. There were people trying to distract my mind. My friends come round, dragged me out of bed, just trying to do anything that they could just to get me back to being me. And it must have been hard for the people around me, seeing me like that, because I am not that person. And seeing me so fragile, it must have been hard for them. And seeing that shit on social media, because you're not just affecting me directly, but then you're domino affecting into the people that love me as well and are in my life, like his family. But nobody knew what to do. No one.
If somebody said something about you now, how would you deal with it now? If somebody said that about you?
On social media?
Yeah.
I'd probably call them out.
Right.
No.
What was it back then that she's done that really hit you the most? What was it that...
She was close. You know, like really, and I felt like you just literally swiped the rug from underneath me without me even, no warning. Well, there was warning signs, I suppose you could say. Yeah. But I'm a good person, like, and I stand by that. I'm not perfect, not by any stretch. Is there things that I could have done better as a boss?
Yeah.
Possibly. But I've never done anything horrible to warrant that. You did the wrong to me.
Do you think about that wrong decision you've made again? And you've got that attached to that it hit you a lot harder?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
I would say so.
Yeah.
I believe now people's actions are a pure reflection of them and that their person. And I feel sorry for them. I feel sorry for her. Because you're an awful person. And one day karma will bite you on the arse. And that day will come. And you will only understand what you've actually done to me when you're older and it happens to you.
Yeah.
Because that changed my life fully. So that was 2021 that then. And then end of that year I went watching my friend doing his marathon. And now I'm a fully fledged runner. And I'm obsessed with it.
Fucking nuts, that story, mate.
And I've shut the shop down.
Yeah.
I hate that industry.
Yeah.
Again, it's loyalty. That was the pinnacle for me. Yeah.
Would you say your expectations of loyalty are a lot higher than other people's?
Yeah.
Would you say they're a little bit out of people's reach?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
How do you lower them expectations of people, knowing what you sort of like know now?
I try and just forgive people's actions a lot more.
Have you got more boundaries in place? You can still be Danielle, but you've got more boundaries in place. Because I've learned that to have more boundaries in place to start off with, because I used to let people in too quickly. Yeah. Not put boundaries in place, and then people would take advantage of you. And that's just, I feel like when I had counselling as well, to try and help. Did it help, counselling? Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I don't know what they do, but you sit there and within 30 seconds you're crying and like divulging your life, and I'm just like, you've not even really said that much. Yeah. I feel like because it's a person that can't judge, I understand that my friends are there, but then there's always that worry that your friends might spill. Yeah. Or just say, oh, you know, in a nice way, and not even in a bad way, but they might, oh, I spoke to Elle before and she's, you know, she's feeling it. That's not like that with a counsellor. They can't go out of that room. Yeah. You can say whatever you want. So I always encourage counselling. It's not like this big thing like people make out it is, you know, like, and that's what I love. I love normalising subjects, because I feel like if it was more normal, people wouldn't feel ashamed about speaking about it. Yeah. Mental health, especially in men as well. And yeah, just any sort of subject like that. I had counselling. Still have that number, still would recommend her, and would still go if I felt like I was just having a minute, but I can't change me. You know, I am a nice person. I still wear my heart on my sleeve. You know, if I'm upset, you know, if I'm pissed off, you know, if I'm happy, angry, sad, whatever, I'm me. Like, I am an open book. I'll tell you whatever you want to know. I've nothing to hide ever, because somebody else will learn off one thing off my journey, then why not? It saves them making the mistake that I have. So, yeah, I don't... When you're running, do you feel like you're running away from something or running towards something? No, I'm definitely running towards something. Right, okay. Yeah. Was there a time when you first started that you were running away? Yeah, do you know, I mean, I started running and I didn't take it serious. I always think of the Forrest Gump thing in my head for some strange reason. And you know, he had never all had that. Run, Forrest, I've never had that. Well, in the film, he's like, he had that much on and that much stress and that much watching. He just started to run. Yeah. And just run and run and run. And then all of a sudden he just... Okay, I'm done now I can face...
It's that high. Have you ever run?
Yeah, yeah.
It's just that high. It's that high when...
It's just when I first started training, I was doing it for a wrong reason. I was kind of putting this bearded armour on to protect myself or look at me, where now I do it to kind of go, I wonder how far I can push myself. I wonder if I can do that. You know what I mean? My training's changed. I wondered if your running's changed and the reason you've done it in your
head. It's changed because I started with weight loss.
Yeah.
That was the initial thing. Heard it was great for the mind. I was only on them tablets for 3 weeks because I found out about ashwagandha, which I love, and I used to get very bad anxiety in the day. So I used to have two tablets in the morning, 2 tablets before bed. I'm not a believer in going to the doctors and having just popping pills. Like, if you want to change and you want to help yourself, you have to help yourself. Like, them tablets are just a mask.
Yeah.
They're there for a short period, but you have to want to get out of it. And there's loads of ways that you can. It's not going to be easy, but there's proof that you can. I don't think anybody even close to me realises how bad in the trenches I was. Maybe Lucas, because he was first witness to it, but he's seen me cry and break down and go off, and he, you know, trying to get in the shot when I'm trying to do something stupid and stuff like that, you know. But yeah, I think that you have to kind of like want to get yourself out of it. So the running started with the weight, did the first marathon, obviously skipped a few runs. I was still thinking, oh, well, do you know what? I'm running 20 miles, so I can have that Mackies and I can have that big bowl of pasta. I'm not weighing it. Like, I don't need to weigh it. I'm burning loads. Oh, that's bullshit too. You are what you eat. I was still big. Yeah. Like, I've got my first marathon pictures. I completed it in 4 hours 6 at Manchester 2022 in the April. Oh, I died. Oh my God. It was so hard. Some of my faces on them pictures are just like, whoa, like, oh my God, yeah. I always say I look like Thumb on the Run. Like, my head, like, blended into my neck. Like, I just weren't, I look at it and I weren't any different to when I started. I had a couple of weeks off, as you do after a marathon, and thought, I'm doing that again. Watch me.
Uh-oh.
I booked a photo shoot in for September, and I booked the marathon for the year after, which was Manchester 2023 last year. And it just shifted. I was obviously wanting to lose weight, and that was the goal up to the photo shoot, and then kind of like weren't asked about my weight because I was eating well. And when you eat well, your head's good. And when you're running, your head's good. So it's like a domino effect, and that's why I do what I do. A lot of people, I am all or nothing. Yeah. I am that sort of person, but I think people think I'm probably batshit crazy. I mean, they might be right. I don't know.
I think they're right.
They're right. Yeah, I might be. But if I'm going to eat healthy, I'm going to eat healthy. I'm going to do it fully, you know. Not doing stuff like willy-nilly, half-heartedly. So...
do you get the same fulfillment running as you did show jumping? Is it the same sort of feeling?
Well, no, because I used to win at show jumping. I can't win at running.
But you bothered about that?
No, I win against myself. You know, I think running's different, isn't it? You know, you still win. Yeah. But it's like, all right, I got a PB, or that felt good in that race. Yeah. So yeah, that was 20, that happened as well in 2023. I trained for it. I'd done my photo shoot. I look back now and I feel like I'm still a lot bigger then than what I am now. I've gone obviously smaller, not realised, because I think when your focus shifts and you're not obsessed with weight and you're just enjoying the journey. I love the journey. Yeah. Oh, sometimes it's grim. Sometimes it's like so difficult. Running, going out for runs, doing the daily grind. But I love it, because when you do get that little win, it's worth it all. And in 2023, I come back and did a 45-minute PB. So I got 3 hours 20 in a year. and I'd only been running 18 under 18 months, which is good. And I felt something, and that was with I had really bad stomach issues, like really bad. Ended up shitting myself at mile 25 with orange shorts on, and there were no way I weren't finishing that race. I was finishing it, and I smelt real bad. And I had a pacer with me that I'd only met once before, bless him. He was lovely. And he said, what do you want to do? I went, fucking finishing. I am finishing this race. Like, I have not trained all these weeks. I'm still on for I was on for 3:10, but because of what had happened, it's excruciating pain in my stomach. I get really bad runner's belly. Mile 25, if there'd have been a toilet there, I wouldn't have turned around in time quick enough. Luckily, I was really tanned, so it just looked like fake tan running down my legs, and it wasn't. But yeah, jokes aside, I was in a lot of pain, but I still finished 3 hours 20. And I suppose I'm proud of that. Like, now, I think that probably shows, like, my character. Like,
huge, that, isn't it?
Yeah. Like, not many people would do that, but...
Not many people talk about it and admit that, mate.
No, I think I had a choice, though. A lot of people knew I was on for 3:10.
Yeah.
What do you say when they say, what happened? I'm not going to lie, because I'm very open. I'm just going to tell the truth. Because you know what? It happens to more people than what you think.
Yeah.
And again, if it was normalised, so I get messages now. Oh my God, I heard a message a few weeks ago. This girl's doing the Manchester Marathon. Like, I'm having real bad stomach issues. I'm ending up, like, she said soiling. That's a posh word. Soiling her pants when she was on a training run. I get messages like that all the time now, but that's because it's just normal. I just speak about shit and shit in your pants like it's just a common thing in running. So, yeah, did that. Still been working, doing hair in the background. Started up a bit of a running coach, because obviously when I was at uni, I've got like boxing qualifications and tennis, level 2 football, stuff like that, you know, because I'm sporty based.
Yeah, yeah.
And I love a good qualification,
yeah,
clearly.
Yeah, clearly.
Clearly. And I thought, well, I've already got me like athletics and me running. I might as well put it to use. So ended up getting some clients like for weight loss, targeting women who want to run and lose weight, probably like me. And I've done that for a year. I still do a few, but at Christmas it got well too much in my head. Again, like, just so people are like vampires, aren't they, sometimes? And I just couldn't take, like...
They don't like seeing you do well, do they?
No. And I couldn't take, like I'd be going to a race, I'd have a race that morning, and you'd be messaging me wanting my energy. But I don't race that often. This energy is precious for me, and like you said about arm's length.
Boundaries.
It was, no, this is my boundary.
Yeah.
You're not taking the piss. And I've basically not fired them off. I've made it so that they want to leave. Like, not in a bad way, but I've made it so they think that it's their choice.
Yeah.
But really, it's always mine. I've shut the shop and I just do property. I've turned the shop back into a house. That'll be done in 2 weeks. I've bought another house. So, yeah. And I love running. I've been off running a little bit. So I did Seville Marathon in February. Went to Seville. Beautiful place. I would 1,000,000% go back. I'd recommend it to anybody. It's gorgeous. And I'm not like one of them that gets bowled over with cities and stuff. But wow, it was just incredible. I ended up pulling up at mile 22 because I'd ripped my oblique, which I knew I'd done 3 weeks prior. I'd done Seville half as a test run for my stomach and everything else. I take all my food over. I am like a robot. So I have a nutritionist, tells me my food, what to eat. I have a running coach, tells me what to run. I just like the thinking being took out of it for me. So I did Seville half. I thought it was a stitch, and it wasn't. It was, I'd torn my oblique. Come back, done a few runs easier, managed it, but I've done a 20-week block of running. There's no way I'm not doing that marathon. So I went into the marathon with a pacer again. No. My friend Jack, oh bless him. And yeah, went into with I asked Jonathan, to be fair.
Did he?
Yeah, he said no. So went into it, we were dead strong. Mile 12 hit. He said, I can't do any more. I was like, what do you mean? He said, I've gone over on my ankle. Turns out he's broke his ankle. So he dropped off at mile 12. But for me, it was always plan A. I was always doing what I was told to do. So I carried on. And the other thing that I was wanting to do is smile. I laughed all the way around. Mile 18 and a half, 19, it just started twinging. And then it just got to the point, because it was my lower oblique, my left leg, I just couldn't lift my left leg up. You don't actually realise how important your core is. It just felt numb. It was so painful. And I just thought, you know what? I was still on time, like, because you go over time in mats, and all my splits were great. I could finish. I could.
But the risk out for you.
But I'd be ripping that even more. And really, I did know that marathon, you can't go in with something. It'll always find you out.
Yeah.
Because it's brutal. But I just thought I'd try. Because what's the harm? And I tried, and I got to mile 22, and I just went, do you know what? I'm done. Like, I've nothing to prove. I've had a really good run.
Big thing for you, that, admitting that right then.
Massive.
Bit of a cathartic moment.
Massive. And probably a turning point in me, which was only a few weeks ago. Because usually I'd
Beat
go
yourself
over that
up,
and
like,
yeah. I wish, I should have, I could have, and I didn't. I flew from Seville to Tenerife. I had a full, so we went on to Seville on the Friday to the Monday. Monday morning we went to Tenerife and to Friday, and I just chilled. And I loved it. And I've just been dead positive. And even people, like, I'm part of Wigan Harriers, and even though, like, they're like, oh, you've took it so well. It was going well. It was going fine. I was comfy. I know I can do that pace. Obviously, now I've got another marathon in December. That pace is to shit because I've moved the goalpost. I want a sub 3. I was on for 3:07 at Seville. And I want sub 3. I want 2:59. So that's what we're going for in Valencia. Obviously, I've had a few weeks off, which has not been great with that oblique. And then I had to, in the midst of all this last year, I went on a journey because I had the implants in 2018 and found, as I've lost weight, your body like forms a capsule around like foreign objects in it. And as I've lost weight, it causes scar tissue, which is capsulation. Mm-hmm. It's gone very hard, and they were so hard. If you can imagine like smacking a rugby ball, that's how hard they were. So they were just uncomfy to sleep, you know, like on your side and stuff. Plus it didn't suit my figure. Like, I look like Jodie Marsh or something, like with these big balloons, and I'm trying to run. Yeah. Like, I want them out. So on that process, found out that the implants could be cancerous as well. And I've not really spoke about this to anyone. So yeah, they could be cancerous. And I also found a lump on my right boob. So
when did you find that?
Found that in July. Yeah, July.
So you've been carrying that with you?
Yeah.
Back of your head?
Yeah. Oh, literally back of my head, because I've been trying to just think, no, it's not there. It's not happening. You know, like you do. Yeah. I don't know. And I suppose that's my attitude to it.
Head in the sand, yeah.
Yeah.
It'd be right, be no.
If you just ignore it, it's not there. Like, out of sight, out of mind. But really, every time I felt it every day. Without anybody knowing, I've checked that every day.
Every day it's like...
Every day.
Yeah.
I've checked that. I've even gone to the point of checking my armpits, of just like really pushing, seeing if there's any sort of lump, because obviously I know it can go into like lymph nodes and things like that. And nobody wants to hear the C word, do they? You hear the C word and it's like devastation. So I had a few consultations with different surgeons, went back to my first surgeon. Again, just a great guy. Just didn't feel thingy. Was recommended this surgeon. What have I got to lose? Went to him. He said...
Go through the decision thing again.
Decision. Yeah. And, oh, God, even to the point of going in hospital, I was not going to go. Was it right? And, yeah, decided it was him that was going to do my surgery. And I'm so glad I did, because he's fantastic. And, yeah, like I say, even to the point of actually going to the hospital, I was like... I don't know, like, I might do Manchester Marathon, you know, like, I'm still fit, I've got this training, I'll just rehab this, and this is my mindset. Or if I don't do Manchester, there's Edinburgh at the end of May, like, I'll do that instead. And then I thought, do you know what, just be at peace with the fact that you're not running. You've done 2 years of solid craft running, your body is getting a bit of niggles, you just need to give it a break, you'll come back faster. You know, I'm not saying the first few runs are not going to be absolutely awful. Like, I'll have lead legs, but I've just come at peace. So I did 2 runs on the week of my surgery, a 30-minute run and a 40-minute run.
Before your surgery?
Yeah, so I was allowed to run. So I had Seville, I had 2 weeks off not running at all. I was just on the cross trainer, and oh my God, they're soul destroying, aren't they, the cross trainers? So I did that, as well as my rehab sort of stuff, and then I did 2 runs, one on the Monday, one on the Wednesday. I had a cross train on the Tuesday in between. I was like, why can I not run? Like, I'm going to be off running for so long. Went in on the Thursday, or even Thursday morning, I ended up getting up, going doing a food shop, just taking my mind off it. I was frightened. I was really frightened. I was frightened about possibly...
Thursday last week?
So Thursday 2 weeks ago. So 2 weeks today. Yeah. I went in. I was so scared. I'm really scared of needles. Not the needle. I'm scared of... That's not right. I'm scared of veins. So I don't like the sensation of a vein or anything like that. I'm scared of being put to sleep. I've asked for magic cream like a child. And yeah, I just went ahead with it and come out. I was very like, oh God, I was off my face when I come out of there. Was on codeine and stuff. But I think because of my diet, because I'm fit,
all helped the recovery.
They can't believe. So I went to the nurse on Saturday, which would have been 8 days. Would it have been 8 days that? Post-op. She couldn't believe like how I'd healed, because I've also had to have an uplift because I've took big implants out. I had small ones put back in because I didn't want no boobs. Like, you know, I love running, but I'm never going to be an Olympic runner. So I still want to look nice in my clothes when I actually do go out, which is very rare now because I don't drink or anything. So yeah, I had small ones put back in, but I've had an uplift, so obviously the cuts and stuff, they're quite brutal. And I was in surgery for 6 hours, which is a long time, and a lot longer than what the surgeon had thought, because I'd had that much scar tissue and it was really tough to get through and get off. They've had to leave some of it on my muscle as well. But I'm healing really well, and I started back to the gym on the cross trainer. I don't use my arms or anything. I literally just rest my arms, but I'm still...
No cancer?
No. So, well...
When did you find that out?
I started on Monday on the cross trainer. I thought, I'd just see. Did Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday morning, and I had my... Then I was seeing my actual surgeon
still in your head? Still
in my head, but trying to be dead positive. I couldn't even look at them for the first few days. I felt like they were going to take my bra off and they'd fall on the floor or something, because they're only stitched in, aren't they? You know, I'm being a bit dramatic probably, but I felt better because I'm back in the gym and actually back doing something, but I was very cautious of sweating as well, because obviously they've still got scarring. And my appointment was 5 o'clock last night
Last night?
Last night, and that was 13 days post-op. I've got the all clear to run in 7 days, but more importantly, I've got the all clear of my implants and the lump, and yeah.
Fucking hell.
Mad.
Mad, damn it?
Yeah, mad. And people can't believe, like, I'm literally 2 weeks post-surgery, and I'm allowed to be back running next week, back end of next week. I mean, I'm not allowed to do marathon miles, but I'm allowed to get out and do a 5k.
Is today the happiest you've ever been for a while?
Yeah, I'd say so. Yeah.
There's a lot of, that's some baggage you've been carrying around with you since July.
Oh, yeah.
Every single day.
Yeah.
Little niggle, that'll be.
Always. But
Do you feel light?
I felt like that, although that's life-threatening, could have been, potentially, it was not as bad as what she did.
Are you being serious?
Serious. What she did was just something I would never, ever, ever wish on anyone. Not even her. Because it was brutal. And I don't, honestly, you know, like you see, obviously social media is such, it's just the way of the world in it now. Like, we need social media to promote business, and if you want to be successful in business, you have to be on social media as such. Very few people get away with not being. But I hate it. It probably doesn't look like that, but I hate social media, and that's the reason why. I just do it because, well, you have to. But yeah, it's not for me, social media.
But you inspire a lot of people with what the message you're putting out, though, don't you? So you're doing it for them, aren't you, more than yourself?
Yeah, I just like being me.
Yeah.
And I just think I've come to terms with, I'm peaceful, that I'm me. The right people will flow and come to me.
Because you're putting out a different frequency now, aren't you?
Yeah.
And you're getting the right people back, aren't you?
I've cut, that's why I've cut like the, I don't know, like hairdressing side out, because again, it's wrong energy for me.
Yeah, I think obviously it's, you know, it's quite external, isn't it, that side of it, where what you're doing, the running and stuff's very internal.
Yeah.
And you kind of find yourself, you kind of, so I get that.
And I think I do the property side so that I can run.
Yeah.
Because that's all I want to do. I just want to...
Plus you'd be bored if you didn't have something else today. Wouldn't you?
Yeah.
And you'd probably do something else. You'll probably do something else, won't you?
Yeah, I do but I love a challenge, but I love a transformation, so that's the houses. I love the challenge of the houses, and I like being busy, and obviously tradesmen do keep you busy because they're not the most reliable souls on the planet. So, you know, being on their case, you can imagine they probably ain't my number coming up, but like... I'm thorough as well. Like, I'm good at business. Like, I'm good at business. I'm just not great at being a boss, because I end up friendly. I end up friendly with bloody trades. You know, I bring them bacon butties and sausage butties, but...
Well, that's the best boss, is it not? Obviously, you've probably just got better boundaries in place now because of what's happened.
Yeah.
But like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I think it's the best. I don't think the word boss is right, but a leader, I think, you know, you are a definite leader, inspire other people to...
I just don't see that. Cause
I know you don't, but like, that's just you as a person, but like...
Just like being me, and if, you know, if you ever want anything, or you, like, people... message me, or like yesterday someone messaged, need some advice about Manchester Marathon, I went, send me a number and I'll voice note you.
Sick.
And I just, like, I haven't got time, but on my way to doing what I was doing, I was voice noting about Manchester Marathon strategy, It's just, treat people how you want to be treated. It's a rule of thumb, always, because it'll come back to you otherwise. And it's nice to be nice and be kind, you know, because you never know what's going on behind someone's closed doors. Like, nobody knew about that with me. No one. Even the people that I coached didn't know, and they've all been shocked. But again, at Christmas, when I said my head was falling off a bit, because we... decided we were selling the shop at one point, because of all the trauma that come with it, we weren't turning it back into a house. I'm cutthroat.
Yeah.
I wanted it gone.
Yeah.
Now I just think that was just so rash and silly. But we had it for sale and stuff, and sales kept falling through and things like that, people messing about. I was coaching, and this girl that I was coaching was struggling with money. We were waiting for the money off the shop, and this girl's struggling with money. But, you know, I'm nice. So I'd put a deal on, a Black Friday deal. 6 months, you get 2 months free. Really, that's, you pay 6 months and you get 2 months at the back end free.
Yeah.
But December, she wanted December free because she's got kids. Husband was, I don't know, not been paid for a job. Okay, so she had December free, and then was paying January, Feb, March, and had December free. And can I just say how she was a nightmare in December? Like, I'm a bit ruthless, me. There's no excuses.
Yeah.
If you've no time to run, well, get up earlier. That's bullshit. I'm probably a bit unsympathetic with like stuff like that, because I'll get up at 3 and go for a run. I'm that crazy cat that you see on the road at that time. You know, you say no. If you don't want to drink, you say no. I don't care what my friends think. Like, if I don't want to drink or eat shit, then I won't. You're not going to force me. I'm not 10. I'm not at school. Like, no. She's going out, wondering why she's not losing weight. I'm trying to say in a nice way, and be, you know, a bit empathetic towards Christmas time and stuff like that. Anyway, comes to February, she had a half marathon at the same time that I was running the marathon. So 2 weeks prior to that, I'd put boundaries in and saying, I won't be available from Friday to Sunday at 1. Because Friday I'm flying, I want Saturday to get my head zoned into this race. And then at 1 o'clock when I finished, message me all you want. The meltdown that she had, cut a long story short, she then wanted to leave, which is fine, because she was sucking my soul anyway, but didn't want to pay for the December that she'd had free. Now, usually that would eat me alive. Like, stupid bitch, how dare. I just was like, no worries. Because I've done the good thing to you, and you've not held up on your word.
Yeah, you
that's
get your
a you
side
problem.
of the street clean.
Yeah. Still follows me on Instagram.
Yeah.
Both pages.
What are you on Instagram?
I'm the blonde runner and the blonde property investor.
Both of them.
Mm-hmm. But nobody really knows my name. They all just, if I'm at like races and stuff, I was marshalling on Sunday as well, because I just wanted to be part of it again. I know it was my first little outing since my op. But I just wanted to be, it was Wigan half and all the Harriers were running and stuff, and I just wanted to be part of it because I just loved the vibe. I was on the canal, which is probably like halfway, mile 6, 7. And just cheering everyone on and just giving back, because people do it for me. And I just kept telling people to smile because it hurts less, and just keeping spirits high. Obviously I was in bright pink coat, bright pink socks, which is very much me, which I think for a long time I've shied away from, because I wanted to be that person in the background that's not noticed, and like, I don't want you to take a picture of me or anything like that, but I'm me. I like pink. I have blonde hair. And what? Like, I don't care what you think. I like bright colours. It makes me feel happy when I wear bright colours. So what? If you think I look like a dick, that's you. That's your problem. I don't care. And then as I was on the canal, I was like saying all this, come on, well done, keep it up, you've got this, da-da-da. You're a blonde runner, aren't you? I follow you on Instagram. Like, there was loads of people going past. Amazing. I was like, so funny, like, nobody knows my name. Nobody knows. I think I did Wigan 10k, and obviously I was racing at this point, and as I'd started off I'd got caught up in, I should have been at one of the front ones, but I got caught up going to the loo, making sure, right at the back, so I was passing people, and then people going, yes, blonde runner, go on. Like, it's just a real buzz. I don't know. I think it's like my identity now. Like, it's a good thing to have.
It's
I
really
like
good.
it.
It's like a little alter ego.
Yeah, I love it.
Everybody go and follow Danielle. I'm not going to say your surname now. I'm just going to call you the blonde runner.
Yeah.
Nobody's going to know your full name. It's a bit like Batman. The
Yeah.
blonde runner. Thank you, Danielle, for being so vulnerable, mate.
It's okay.
I'm sure a lot of people's going to get a lot of value from this.
My makeup all down my face.
That's good, mate. That's good. Thank you for listening, everybody. Goodbye.